Have you felt that approach to anxiety and psyching yourself out, have you feel that become applied to life through that process of running? Like, could you give us an example of how that's
because honestly, it's those days are the step-by-step days. That's what I call them. You just take one step, then take the next step, then take the next and the next and the next, and you'll realize at some point you're running. That's essentially what happens with me with other things. This is a silly example. I had to redo my closet. Everything was taken out of it, and I've had to put it all back together again. And when I first looked at this task, it just looked mammoth. I was like, there's no way I'm going to get this back in order again. And I looked at it and would go away and go, it's not going to get done. I can't do it. And then one day I just said, just start. Nothing else after that. Yeah. If you just start, something will get done. Even if it's like one small section, you will have started. Yeah. And the next day, just start again.
Yeah.
It's the same for if I'm learning a piece or a song that just won't stay. I'll just start. Learn the first line and just keep going over the first line. And sooner or later, the first line will be in there and you'll want to go into the next line. You do a piece or you're playing a character you just can't understand. Just read the lines. Find out what other people are saying, find out what the journey is. And then sooner or later, you'll want to get to know this character. Mm. Now, the way to get to know this character is probably to learn the character. And when you learn the character, well, you've learned the character. Now you know it. All these sort of little mountains or trials, they aren't always easy. But if you just start, you might be able to get over them.
Yeah.
Even when we're running hills, I never look at and sometimes you're told, look straight ahead. I always look at the bit in front of me. My eyes are never pointed upward when I'm walking up a hill. I'm always like, if I can just get my foot in front of this next foot, and if I could just keep going bit by bit by bit, sooner or later, when I look up, I'll be at the top of the hill. And that's always what's happened. And it's the one thing that keeps me from stopping in the middle of a hill. I just keep going one foot in the front of the other. My eyes are pointed downwards because I know that there's only one foot that the only thing that can happen is I'm going to put my foot in front of my foot again. And then eventually the hill sort of flattens out and you're like, oh, I got there. I made it.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I'll keep going. It's good.
Yeah. That's so powerful. I love that perspective because I think you are right that we've kind of been trained in society to like look at the goal, look at the target, figure out the end point.
Yeah.
And you're so right that if you ever try and run or whatever you do, whether it's hiking or anything, swimming or whatever, if you're looking at the end constantly, you'll keep measuring how far you are away from
exactly.
it. I know that I don't run anywhere close to as much as you do, but when I have ever run before, when I have looked at the end, I'm just like,
how am I going to get
there? I'm still so far away. I'm still so far away. Okay, I'll get to that point and then I'll walk and then, whatever. And then you start negotiating with yourself.
Right.
Rather than if you are just looking at it. It's the same when we were taught to meditate as monks. I lived as a monk for 3 years. And when we were trained in that practice, we always meditated on beads. And you get this beautiful set of beads. I still have them today. And there's 108 of them, which is a sacred number. And you're told to just focus on one bead at a time.
Right.
And the mind is like, oh, I've got to get 108 beads and I've got to do this multiple times and whatever it is. Yeah. And so we were told, no, just one bead at a time, one step at a time, and just start. I love that as a view of like, just start today and then you'll thank yourself later. You'll figure it out.
I can't tell you how many times people have asked, how do you even do that? How do you run so much? I want to start and I'm not sure what to do. And I'm never going to be able to run that distance. No one is asking you to run that distance. Just go outside and start.
Yeah.
That's it. Put on your sneakers. Even if you only make it to the door. That's more than you did yesterday.
Yes.
And then maybe you'll make it in front of the door tomorrow. And then maybe you'll make it just down your street. That is a run.
Yeah.
5 minutes of running is a run.
Yes.
It doesn't need to be half an hour, 2 hours, 2 minutes is a run.
Yeah.
Just start. Just a little bit is enough. And then you'll find more later. You'll find that you are asking, your mind is asking, your body is asking for a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Because the 5 minutes that you did is now, well, I can do that.
Absolutely.
I'll do more then.
Absolutely.